Friends of Karen is a 33-year-old not-for-profit organization that supports critically ill children and their families to enable them to stay strong and stable and together throughout the course of a child's illness.
The reason that we started the sibling program was that we recognized that children were being left behind. The brothers and sisters were technically being left behind emotionally. We are addressing this illness now as a family problem. It's not just the ill child that's affected, it's everybody.
When we were first admitted to Children's Hospital for my daughter Mia, a social worker had given us a package and it had information on Friends of Karen. They helped me with giving us someone to work with Kyle during all of this. So he had someone that would meet with him, Melissa, once a week, and he loved it. He gave an opportunity to share his feelings about what was going on and to put some focus on him as opposed to Mia, because everything was about Mia at the time. When they said they were admitting her, I had to tell him that she was staying in the hospital and he had to go home. And actually to this day, probably half the nurses on staff that day say that they can never forget that night because the way they were hugging and when it was time to say bye, it was tough. Sorry.
You can't go through cancer or the devastating illness of a child alone, and Friends of Karen is the greatest organization you never want to know.